Hello everyone, welcome back to another interesting episode. So in this episode, basically we are having Vijay. So Vijay Vardhan, basically he just graduated in 2024, and basically he is doing right now the internship. So this interview is mostly going to be on building something on React. I'm going to ask one of the popular questions which are asked with a fresher. So considering this interview is going to tackle most of the fresher related problem statement in the question which are asked in the interview, we are going to talk lot in detail. So keep watching this video till the end. There are many interesting questions that I'm going to ask in between. So without wasting further time, so we have Vijay. Hey Vijay, how are you doing, man?
Hey Chirag, hi. Hello everybody.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. As you told, as you gave a perfect introduction, I'm a 2024 CSC graduate and currently pursuing my second internship right now as a full stack developer intern. So this is what I'm doing right now.
Awesome. So any ideas that what we are going to build today?
Maybe expecting something towards React or like building components in React, some LLD, something like that.
Definitely, we are going to cover one of the machine coding problem statement. So with that, I've shared you a link. Can you quickly open that and let's get started? So we are going to build pagination component in React. So this is one of the very much popular problem statement. And if you wanted to take a reference, I can give you. So if you
Okay,
scroll down, so you see a pagination component, right?
right.
You have to keep in mind you are building something generic so that this pagination can be used by others. So you can get started with any common component and then try to make it more generic so that it can be utilized at multiple other places. So you see, you click on say suppose 5, automatically the numbers that are shown over here get changed. And when you click next, the number changes, the active number changes. And similarly, when you do previous, the current page basically changes. So this is something that we are going to build.
So I have like some doubts.
Yes,
Oh,
please.
this is the component that we are going to be building, right?
Right.
And so, is this the only component, or should we also build a page that reflects?
We are not expecting a page at this time. It is only this component where you have certain responsibilities. The one, it has some ranges, it has some limit that need to be shown. Like we are showing 10.
Hmm.
Example, if I have just 5 pages, so only 5 will be shown, right? So we will be taking a max pages that will be shown. We will be taking how many pages we have. We have some active pages, right? There are ways to change the active page and all sort of things. So we'll focus only on pagination component.
Got it.
तो मैं आपसे कुछ मांग सकता हूँ सचमुच में अब मैं मांगूंगा और आप मानेंगे नहीं तो मानेंगे लेकिन अगर करेंगे नहीं तो पक्का करेंगे
So we have multiple pages over here,
Mhm.
and as you said, I can see two parameters over here. The first one is the number of pages,
Mhm.
which I can see. Uh, in this case, which is going to be 10. So it's going to be 10 pages.
Mhm.
And the second parameter is the number of, is basically the limit of pages until which we are going to show. And after that, we're just going to show three dots, basically extension of those pages.
Mhm.
These are the two parameters I can see right now. Uh, but then I'll focus on building the first parameter right now. So I'll just take a set of pages, let's say 10 pages, and render them all in the screen. And I'll focus on two different functionalities. The button functionality, which is previous and next button. So on
Okay.
the previous button, the active page changes from one page to another. So it gets behind. And on clicking the next button, it will go forward to the next page. And basically, these buttons should also be disabled once the next button should be disabled when the active page is the last page, and
Mhm.
the previous button should be disabled when the active page is the first page.
Okay. Fair enough.
These are about the buttons, and also there should also be a click listener for each of the page. So when we click on each of the page, even then the active page should change to that particular page on which we click. So these will be the things I'll be focusing on. The limit, let's go after this.
Sounds good. Let's fair enough. Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So for now, I'll start with the state, which is going to be the number of pages. Let's say
Let's
Okay,
create a new component in the same file by name pagination and use it over here.
perfect. That sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'll name it pagination, and nothing as of now. But then I would like to define the number of pages over here. So for which I just realized I don't need a state for that, which is because it's just going to be constant. So number of pages.
So number of pages is something that will be passed from a parent as in props, right? How many total pages we have, isn't it?
Okay, got it. So it will be a prop then.
Yeah, that's how you will make it configurable, right? So whoever is consuming will tell how many pages it contains, isn't it?
Makes sense. Okay. So I'll take it as a prop, and this is one. And I'll also take another property, which will be the active page,
Hmm.
which denotes on which page we are at right now.
Fair enough.
Okay, and I will render this component directly over here, the pagination. Okay, done. So let's test it. I'll make a div. Oh my god. Okay, working. Nice. So okay, so we need a list of pages that should be displayed side by side. So and the number of pages should be, I mean, the number of items should be equal to the number of pages.
Hmm.
So I need to render exactly that number of items. So um, thinking of how to render a particular number of pages without having an array.
Hmm.
So we can't use for loop in JSX, but what if I um, okay, okay, I can be like this, say, which is going to be like all zeros maybe into number of pages. So using this, I will just render. I'll use map, and since the item won't be used anywhere, so I'll just use an underscore. Now I have to render the pages, right? So I think I also will be needing index so that I can put the number in the page. So I'll use a span over here and basically put the index number, and let's give it
You
the prop.
created an array of zero and multiplied by pages. Does that work?
Okay, not really sure, but okay,
So your problem statement is, hey, I need to create an array of that particular size, isn't it?
correct, correct. Huh.
What could be done in JavaScript?
Uh, can I take array object and make a size of this particular number?
Give a shot.
Also get uh, 5. This doesn't preview anything. Uh, Takes items. Choose of any type. I mean, I can think of like a brute force approach, but it's like very simple. Just say you have an array of is like empty, and I can do a for loop. Let's say
Got it. Fair enough. I think go with the other way. You're trying to create a new array and trying to do something. Let's try that.
this one
Yep.
or the new one.
The array method one.
Okay, but not able to recollect how to create a particular number of elements using array object. Uh, Sorry. Should I add a new keyword over here?
Maybe
Doesn't seem to work. Can I inspect?
you definitely you can inspect.
Okay. It is not a function. Did I try it over here?
Okay. So yeah, give a shot if that works.
This is working. Okay, let me put it.
Like extra bracket. Okay. Let's see if this works.
Still doesn't seem to work.
Okay. So help me with one thing. When you write new array and you give a page, it creates a array of that particular length.
Correct.
But does that array contains anything?
I think it. I didn't see what it contains.
So there are two different properties. One is you can say that your array has a length of 1000, but that does that represent that your array is filled with 1000 items?
No, it just has so we're basically specifying the limit of the array.
So it's a empty. It's a, just a
Right.
length.
Okay.
So in order to use something called map or something, you need to fill that out with
Okay.
some value, isn't it?
Okay.
So try
So does
fill
it take a
dot fill.
parameter?
Oh, so not like that. So you can use a dot method on top of it and do a fill by zero or something.
Okay.
Or do you?
Okay. Doesn't seem to work. I think I forgot to return.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay. Done.
works.
Yep. So okay, let's give it a basic styling.
Mhm.
So I'll make it display flex and also give some gap, maybe 5 pixels. And give each element some padding. Background color
Okay.
and border radius maybe.
Mhm. Seems to be using Tailwind.
Sorry?
Seems to be familiar with Tailwind.
Yeah, but then since it's not accessible over here. So doing it
But it's the way you wrote, basically rounded, I got the sense.
right.
Go ahead.
I'll also give like a good amount of width, let's say 10 pixels each. Okay, that's not enough. Okay, so the easiest way to center is how this reflects vertically. Right. Nice.
Okay.
Okay, that's a lot of styling. Okay, so can we directly format it?
What do you mean by formatted? Oh no.
I,
So no,
okay,
that formatting won't work over here.
okay, sure. Okay, so we have 5 pages over here, and also I think we need two buttons. One is previous button, and the other one is next button. So let's go and build those buttons. So in the div itself, I'll make them appear. So the first one is going to be, let's say, give it a button, and give it this. This doesn't seem to appear. Okay, let's do JSX. Got it. And one which is next button. Okay, so till now we have reached to a point where we are rendering the pages, particular length of pages with the previous button and the next button. So right now we need the functionality which we are discussing about, right? And also we also need to show the active page, which is which where we are at right now. But we are not showing it yet, and we're also like not utilizing this property over here. So let's go ahead and utilize it. So I have given a gray color to like all the pages. So I will conditionally give this property based on the active page. So let's come over here. So if the okay, if active page is equal to index plus 1, in that case, give it a color of what do I get? Let's say red color, very dominant, and yeah, it works for now. And all the other pages are in gray, right? So now let's move on to the functionality, right?
Sure.
So when I want, okay, so when I want to change the active page and also make sure that this changing of active pages is reflecting on the UI, I think I might need a state for that thing. And also I want to encapsulate the state within the pagination component and not in its parent component. So I'll make the state variable over here itself, which will be like again let's say active page and set. Okay, I think I'll follow camel, set active page. And, I'll use the useState hook and give the default initial value as active page. And now we got this thing. So this is what we're going to use in our application. And okay, seems like we're getting an error because we don't have a use state. Cool. Perfect. And now we have these buttons over here. So we want the functionality that we were discussing about. Let's build functions for the button click handlers. So I'll say const previous button click handler, and which will basically set the active page. I want states to update synchronously, so I'll use the previous active page. So I'm using the callback feature of the use state so that I don't fall into any traps. Now I'll return one page lesser than what it was. Okay. Uh, Chirag, are you able to hear me?
Yep, please.
Okay. So this is one, and this is the next one. Yep. And we'll increase the page over here. And okay. Okay, so we are doing it in a TypeScript way. Not a problem.
So it is not a TypeScript, although you can try that. It should work.
Okay, then it's okay. Let me give these button handlers, functions to the button. I'll set the on click, and even over here. Okay, let's test it. Test this right now. So if I click on next, it is going, and I want to fall in error. So the something which we've discussed earlier. So that edge case where if the active button is in the last index, in that case, we want to make this button disabled, right? So does this have a disabled property? Okay, I think it has. And it should be true when the active page is equal to the number of pages. Okay. Nice. Now it's working. And also, even for this, I'd like to add this property. It should be something like if the active page is 0, in that click previous button. Okay. Oh no. Yep. So it's working right now according to what I'm expecting. The only functionality that is left right now to the first iteration that we've discussed is the direct page click handling event, right?
Yeah, before
So,
that, can you scroll up? I just want. So you added a set state basically, which you're using set active page using a callback method. So can you bit explain more around it?
okay, sure. So the set state functionality of the use state basically expects either the new updated value which we want the states to be set, or expects a callback.
Mhm.
And why I use callback is because I want everything to be synchronous. So basically, when we use this callback, we get the latest snapshot of the state which we are want to set. So when we want to set the new state, which depends on the previous state,
Mhm.
then I guess the callback is the perfect way to do this thing. So
Any
this is how,
scenario in which you can say you can exactly represent, hey, callback is better as compared to passing the new value.
sure. So right now though, there isn't any complex uh, I mean, there isn't any complex system that we are building over here. It's just a one component. So, and also there's only one state right now. So there's a very less chance of these state confusion. But
Mhm.
then when we go on developing a bigger front end application with multiple states and multiple rendering possibilities, in that case, the state updates happen in batch wise to make React optimized. I mean, the front end optimized. In that case, we can't guarantee that the the state update we are doing over here directly is the latest snapshot that we are getting. So in that case, I believe it's better to go with the callback functionality of the such.
Got it. I like the term which you mentioned as an batch update. Cool. Let's keep going. Keep enhancing the capability that you have.
Sure. Okay. So we have focused on two things over here. First thing is the button click,
Mhm.
and the second thing is the direct page click, which is left from what we have decided in the first iteration design.
Yeah.
So let's focus on that. So instead of span, I would also like to make it a button over here.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know. I just like to keep on click only for button. So okay, let's go for it. Okay, the style also changed. I'll go back to span.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give it on click again. But
Mhm.
before even that, let's define an on click function for this. So I'll call it page click handler, which will get the page to which we want to go. So this will be a target page. And so, right, yeah, you asked a question, where would I use the callback and where would I use direct state update, right? So
Mhm.
here is where I would like to, or I'm allowed, or it's safer to use the state update directly because we're not depending on the previous or latest state of that. So we can just directly update the state
Sounds
with
fair.
the target.
Yeah.
Yep, this is done. And all we have to make sure is that I'll give it on click. So this takes a function definition, not a function call. So I'll use an arrow function because we also need to give it a argument, right? So okay, how this function needs the target page to which it needs to go. So for this span, the target page, I mean the current page is this index plus one. So if you put it over here, I think this should work. Let's try and test it. Okay, this is working. I would just like a very slight change. Uh, okay, this looks better.
Mhm.
Yep. So this is about the first iteration or like the first iteration which we have thought about. Basically giving it a number of pages
Mhm.
and the active page. And I don't think we need to give any active page over here because that's not part of the functionality.
Oh,
So it is
I
something.
want to get started probably from certain page. Why not? Active page is helpful. Like
Okay,
on certain page, I wanted to get started. Don't you think? Say
understood.
in this case, can you make it three? Let's see if that works.
In which case?
Make active page three.
Okay, that's possible.
So your default page is setting to three, right?
Understood. Okay. I
That
was thinking, correct.
Now
That makes
I
more
have a
sense.
couple of more things. One, so right now you're
No.
taking 5 pages and rendering 5 pages. My problem is
Hmm.
you have 50 pages and you have to render 5 pages.
Hmm. Makes sense. Okay. In that case, uh, I think this is what I mean. we come to the point where we want to use the page limit, which you told in the starting of the problem definition.
Right.
So let's go on and define that. So I'll define a page limit parameter. Um, let's say I give it 5 as you said,
You
and
can
let's
take 10
increase.
to place it better. It's okay. And take the number of pages to be maybe 50.
Sure, okay, done.
Yeah. Or
So
if it is out of the screen, make it 25 total pages. I think that can also work.
much better, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
Now by the
okay,
time 10 pages should be visible.
right, okay. So okay, I'm thinking about it. So we need 10 pages to be visible. So we don't know how, I mean, I don't know how to display the 10 pages based on the page we are at right now.
Mhm.
So let's say I am at first page.
Mhm.
In that case, I should display a set of pages in the starting and some dots and the last page. Correct.
Oh no. So dots. So let's make it very simple and cleaner, which is you are on first. So from first to 10 pages will be visible. You are on fifth, then from fifth to 15 pages will be visible. So make it that simple. And probably if you go to the example that I have shared, just can
Huh.
you go back to the other one? In this case, the other delta basically which is done over here. So if you click on say suppose 5, click on 5, maybe click
Okay.
on 6 now, right?
Right.
It has one more endpoints which are 1 and 10 with the dot 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 or are also visible in case you
Right.
have more items which we can enhance, but right now my expectation is that range should be visible where you are basically working, right? If you are on
Got
2, then it should be 2 to probably you can say again 12, right? Or 11, 10 number at a
that
time.
seems perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, done.
The
Done.
next
Done.
thing we can enhance, hey, have the dot 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 and the first and the last count that we
Okay.
can enhance further. But let's make a simple one first.
Step by step. Okay. Done. Sure. Okay, so we have given this property over here, but we should also make sure that we are taking it in the component. So we got this thing, just still unused. Okay, so we want the page limit to be such that, let's say we have 25 pages, and let's say the page limit is only 5, and we are only showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a next button, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And when we go to the 25th page over here, it will be 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. And the next button over here will be disabled when we are in the 25th page.
When you are at 25th, like you will be able to move. Once you move to 25th, which is last, then only it will disable.
Correct.
So your
Makes,
window will keep on changing as you click on any item, right?
makes sense. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, okay, let's get back to this array. So instead of uh, rendering number of pages, we'll render the page limit number of pages. I mean, we should be rendering page limit number of buttons or pages, and it should go from active page
Mhm.
to plus page limit. In that case, I have to fill the okay. I am getting the index anyway, and I also have the active index. So it should be something like okay. To avoid confusion, I'll start with one as active page. Okay. So the active page is one,
Mhm.
and page limit is right, but then want to start from two. So in that case, this should be active page plus index plus 1. The pages we are displaying should go from active page to active page plus the index. On active page plus the limit. But then so right now we are rendering from 1 to 10. When we click on next, active page becomes 2. In that case, again the index is 0, so it will be 2 plus 0. So it should start from 2 and it should go till 11. But if I click on next, it's not changed.
Okay, help me with one thing. When you click on 3, example, click on 3.
Right,
It did not change, right?
correct.
Okay, help me with one thing. When you click on 3, what is your active page?
3.
Consider example when your array is starting from 4 and you click on 5, what will be your active page? It is starting from 4 example
Okay,
and you click on 5, what will be the active page in your case?
it will be 5.
How come? Your logic does not say that. Your active page is dependent on what?
Active page plus index.
It's a one which is rendering, the one which you are setting in the active page as an state. What you are setting?
Okay, set state over here.
When you click on a number, what you are setting?
I'm setting the active page.
So what is that? Scroll down. See your click handler, on click handler. What you are setting?
Target page, which is index plus 1. Okay,
Is that correct? So if your start page series is starting from 4 and you're clicking the next item, ideally it should be 5. But in your case, it will be active page will be,
it will increase by 1.
oh, it will increase what? From what?
The
4
previous
plus
page,
1.
4 plus, okay,
How come?
index plus 1,
And your index is always
0. From starting from 0.
then.
Okay. Uh, so, okay, I'll start from the buttons first. Let's say I click on the next button. In that case, on click handler of the next button is over here. It will set the state to, okay, this is getting a bit confusing. Uh, please give me 2 minutes. I want to think.
I can help you if you need any help, any suggestions.
Okay, I'm still not able to figure out. So I'll tell you my thought process. What is going in my head? So okay, so we have 25 pages, but we're only rendering page limit number of pages, right? 10 pages.
Yeah.
And we also have buttons for which the logic is very clear and it works fine because it depends on the first and last page and it is according to what is expected. But then when I click on the next button, what I'm doing is so the current page is 1. When I click on next button, it is setting the active page to 1 plus 1, which is 2. Right. So now the active page is 2. which is true. But then I want the functionality where when I click on next, the rendering of pages should happen from 2 to 11, which
Your
is not
your problem is not that. Your problem is way different than this. So your problems. Tell me one thing: is can there any be way or possibility in your case to set a active page to 13? Is there ever possible with your logic that you have written?
no, not at all.
So help me with one thing. So your biggest pain point is you are playing with indexes in this case.
Correct.
Don't you think? What if I say the array that you are rendering is the one which contains the actual numbers, the pages that you are showing? Then your life isn't will be sorted, isn't it?
Right. Instead of making it all zeros, if
So
I
you
have right
should
now.
create an array which contain exactly pages that need to be rendered, and then you don't have to play with the indexes. Don't you think?
Correct, correct. In that case, I need to have a dynamic array which will basically take uh, two parameters. One which is the starting and I mean the starting, the one which is the start and one which is limit.
When you
So
say
the array,
dynamic array, array is not dynamic, right? So whatever
correct,
you keep at that moment, it will be the defined array at that moment, right? The array can change with your actions, but the content of that array will always be limited, right?
right.
So can we try something like that?
If you want to change the array,
Okay, let me give you one last thing. The array
okay,
that you're creating over here, can you bring that array outside and use that variable over here? Probably that will give you a visibility.
okay. Sure. So I'll define this variable to be pages to be, which will be this array. And so the point is to make this array filled with the pages that we want.
So can I ask you, hey, create a function that returns an array where I give you starting number and you know the limit. Can you
Sure.
generate a dynamic array with that?
Yes. Uh, get pages to and start and limit. Uh, okay. Again, so it needs to return an array which will have elements. Okay. Can we do it with fill itself?
Fill it with something and override that with some right value.
Right.
You can use fill with the starting and end number. You can try that also range.
Okay. Value is going to be anything. Or, okay. You see once. We
So
have value.
selected values you can fill.
Okay. So can we skip this thing?
That's a value that you wanted to set, and from which index to which index you wanted to fill this. You don't want it to fill 100%, right? Partial thing that you wanted to fill.
O-
Probably only this won't help, right?
Okay. So then I want the value to be starting from the start.
That won't work. So maybe fill it with 0 and then use some map in order to set the right value.
Okay.
Now, using map, you have to be very precise what you wanted to keep inside your array as in final value.
Right. Right. Okay. So the page limit is what I want over here. So it should be a limit. So we got this. array.
Or you wanted to fill with limit? Oh, just double check your logic once. You are creating an array of size.
Limit minus start.
Do you want it to keep in fill? Just double check. Last time you kept it in array, don't you think? How do you create an array of that particular size?
Fill 0. Okay, let me check one second. Got it. So it should be 0 filling with the limit over here, and we are giving two parameters. First one is start. Okay, the limit is over here. Okay. And now I would like to return okay, I'll make a result
Mm-hmm.
and
So map itself is an array, right? What are you doing? What does map do?
it returns array.
Then why are we creating a new array?
Okay, so we want to return a transformed array from this array.
So you wanted to return a transform value for every iteration, isn't it? Automatically
For
that
each,
will create an array. So
correct.
focus on writing your transformed value as a written value, isn't it?
Right. So it should, so index starts from 0 to the limit. I want the array to be starting from start.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be start, and after each iteration, I would like to increase it with index. And I'm sure that in the first iteration, the index is 0. So we are getting the start.
Mm-hmm.
So this works. So okay, we are using these two. Okay, now. So we got the array over here,
Mm-hmm.
which would take the active page and page limit, and now we are getting the array which is pages to be rendered according to the active page and page limit. So now when the active page is changing,
Is your active page changing? Like what is the value which is getting set as an active page? Again, go to your on-click handler and tell me.
next button click handler, it is incrementing the value.
Oh, when I say when you explicitly go and click on 4, which method
Okay,
is getting clicked?
page click handler.
What value we are setting?
So we are setting index plus 1.
Do you want it to set index?
Okay, it shouldn't be index, it should be so it should be underscore, which is like the value,
Mm-hmm.
page value. So this page value we are getting, which are basically these numbers 1 to 10,
Okay.
and when we click on any of the page, then should be this, uh, correct, and background also the page when it is equal to page value. I think this should work.
Double check once more. Will that work? Scroll down. What you're rendering?
Okay. This should be exactly page value.
Okay, let's give a shot.
Okay, finally.
Okay. Now the problem statement is you
Oh,
doing maybe till the end. Oh, how come this is happening? You have only 25 pages.
correct, correct. Okay, so while we are rendering the pages, we should make sure that at a given particular state, we should not exceed the 25 page. In that case, pages to be rendered is what we should focus on, because this is the function that is giving us the set of pages that needs to be rendered, right?
Mhm.
So I think just giving the active page and page limit doesn't work here. We should also be giving the maximum page, or like the total pages, so that, okay, so that once we reach over here, as in number of pages minus page limit, which is 15. So we should compare the active page with that difference. If according to that, we should render it. So if active page is greater than that difference, we
Mhm.
should just return this static array.
We should return the static array.
Yeah, I mean from 16 to 25, no matter what the active page is between 16 to 25, we should only return these numbers.
So how you're going to do that and where you're going to do that?
I will do it in this function itself.
Okay. So what will be your logic?
So I'll first take the parameter over here, number of pages. Got it. So now that I have this number of pages, I'll calculate the page difference, or no, I mean, okay, not able to come up with a better name. Number of pages minus limit. So we got this thing, which is like, if it is 25,
Don't you think this difference is always constant?
uh, yes,
Limit
correct,
is 10 and your total number of pages are 25. It's
correct,
always 15.
correct. So it should depend on my active page, which is the start. So if the start, okay, if number of pages minus my start, it will be, in this case, 25 minus 1 is 24. So now we are in safe side. But then if we go to 16, in this case, 25, okay, let's go 15. 25 minus 15 is 10.
Mhm.
Now it is safe to go for this array. But if we encounter this situation, we should just return start to the end. So how do we get this? If page difference is equal to limit, uh, 25 minus 16 is 9, minus 1. In that case, I should just return array again with limit, but starting from start. Uh, it's not equal to.
Mm-hmm.
If page difference is it is 17, if I come on 17, it's like 8. It's less than limit minus 1.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
We are doing this, but we'll be returning elements from number of pages
Mm-hmm.
minus limit.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be 25 minus 10, which is 15, plus 1 plus index.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Just I'll check once again. So page difference, I'll start from 16th page. The number of pages is 25 minus 16 is 9. So 9 is not less than limit minus 1. Yeah, this should work.
Let's give a shot. Click on 10. Click on 10. Click on 19. Okay. Click on 23. Click on next.
Yep.
Previous. Click on previous. Click on previous. Click on first. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, it got disappeared. Okay. Now, cool. So you don't have to implement, but tell me if you have to add that dot 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 functionality, the range that you see where the first and the last and the dots are visible. What we are going to do?
Okay, to visualize better, I'd like to go to this page.
Yes.
So this seems even more complicated right now. So we have like the total number of pages over here, which is 10. We also have, I think, limit. Let's okay, I'll assume the limit to be 5. But then if I come to the first page, now it's like 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there will be 3 cases for this.
Okay.
The first is where we'll check the active page,
Mm-hmm.
and based on some conditions. So the first condition, the first rendering will be something like limit number of pages, dot dot dot, and the last page.
Mm-hmm.
And the second type of rendering will be something like when we are at a page, when we are at a condition where it will be the first page, dot dot dot,
Mm-hmm.
and the active page and the pages before and after the active page,
Mm-hmm.
dot dot dot, and the last page. This is second condition.
Mm-hmm.
The third type of rendering should be something like last set of pages according to the limit, and the first page in the start, and dot 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 after the first page. These are the 3 types of rendering, but I should think more on the logic that goes in
Mm-hmm.
for to handling those conditions for rendering these types of different things.
Okay.
So I think it can be done that, but maybe it will take a lot of time for me. I
Got
got a lot confused in the start, to be honest. Not in the start, but after we were doing the iteration, which you told.
Sounds fair. I think that can the one which you are talking about can be implemented with much simpler way. Not you have to don't
Okay.
have to n number of conditions basically. So
Okay.
reason being, if you see what you have first and last which is always visible.
Right.
The only thing is the dot 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 that comes in the starting and the end.
Okay.
Starting has a condition, end has a condition. That's all. Don't you think?
Understood. Okay. So these middle ones are what that are
The array
changing.
that you are generating, if the
Right.
first element that add to the array is conditional and the last element that get adds based on the condition, which is dot dot dot. If what will be the first element, is it will be the dot dot dot, or the last element dot dot dot, is based on the condition. If you are able to do that, your logic is sorted, don't you think?
Perfect. Yep. Yep. That makes a lot of sense.
Cool. So yep, so everyone who's basically watching, I want you to basically give the feedback. And second, I want everyone to implement the second case that we discussed about exactly this. Share your solutions in the comment. I will love to basically review the suggestions and the things that you basically share. If, what do you say, so Vijay should be selected as a fresher in React, or what's your opinion on that? I would love to hear that. Okay, cool. So I would love to share some of the feedback, Vijay. Before I share the feedback, I wanted to know your experience from this interview.
Okay. This was actually fun, to be honest, because when I'm a regular follower of your channel, so I regularly watch the interview videos of different types of experienced people on your channel. So I come to your channel, and while having some breakfast or lunch, I see some 6.5 years engineer solving some problems. I'll be like, that's so easy, I can do it in like minutes. And but the real thing is, when you put in such a situation, or when you put in such a pressure situation, when all the thoughts collide your brain, that's more difficult. Even the simplest logic becomes difficult to think. So I gave like a lot of interviews even based on implementation, but gradually it's getting better and better over time. Even today, like I learned a lot how to think in difficult situations, pressure situations. When we made this second iteration, that was like when I got a lot of confusion, even though the logic is a bit simple when you were explaining, but I was not able to get it in my brain. So that's what happens in the real interview. So anyone who is thinking or commenting in the comment section that it's like very easy, you should be in the seat, go fill out the Google form and take the interview. That's what I'll suggest. And after that, if you ask me my experience, uh, it's like really fun and it's awesome. Thank you so much for this.
Yep, as you rightly said, say like sitting on the other side when you're watching, and basically when you're actually giving the interview, those are two different scenarios. Now, very important thing in the interviews is, one, you have to be very, very good listener. You have to understand what kind of a hint interview is basically giving, right? You have to understand what is the expectation of our interviewer. Then you have to work on that, and you have to come up with a solution which is right fit. There are many things basically I will recommend that could be improved. One, the naming convention probably that you're using, that are used in Python, not generally in JavaScript or the React that we use, right? The other side of thing, when we create these arrays and whatnot, we could have think about performance. We are always creating those arrays with some every click in every re-render, right? How can we optimize? Can we memorize certain things, right? Those kind of things basically come in the picture. But overall, the way you have basically worked upon the problem statement from starting to the end as a fresher, I see the kind of the knowledge that you hold in the you can say React side of the thing. But again, there are very few things that can be improved, like when you are actually writing a map function, right? So it took some time. Hey, I create a new array and then basically try to push it, or array like map itself basically gives you a new array, you can leverage it, right? Then lot of things, like when you play with the indexes, can
Right.
shall I play with index, or there can be better way? Because always remember, guys, when you are playing with indexes, it comes with cost, and you have to understand that cost whenever we are basically implementing anything, especially in the production. Like in interview, someone would say that, hey, it's okay, the application is working somehow, but in production, it is supposed to break when you play with indexes. Cool. So I think, Vijay, it was nice talking to you, and it has been a great. I think, as likewise, it has been great talking with you. So everyone, whoever watching, just share your feedback, share your thoughts, share with everyone, spread it, so that we keep on building more things, and fill the form basically if you wanted to give the interview, and I will love to basically be your host for you. Great. With that, best wishes, Vijay. See you again. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Chirag. Bye, everyone.